Hey guys, AttackingTucans here, welcoming you back to Let's Play Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. We are still working on Seder Point, our extravagant, gigantic theme park, and this episode, we're gonna get a lot done. Episode 5. I think 5 episodes in is when the park should actually become a working, running, functioning thing. So, I keep it paused for a bit, but our goal today is to get all of our rides open and everything connected. I want to have this roller coaster 100% finished over here. We have to name it as well and change some settings. I want to get all of these rides open except for the monorail because that's not going to be finished, obviously. We're going to finish decorating around this area, going to build some stuff over here, and fix up some little odds and end things. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I need to fix is this little piece of roof right here. Lots of you guys have kept pointing it out, and I'm sorry for taking so long to fix it. I don't know why it's been taking me so long, but lots of you guys I know are super OCD like me, and it's probably been bothering you to death. Yes, to death. You were literally dying because this little piece of roof is uneven. And this happened because when I was playing with the ground, for some reason it glitched it out and made it raise. But there we go. That is now fixed. Another thing a lot of you guys wanted me to fix was this opening path right here. As you see, it's all wobbly and wavy, and it's a problem because all of these guests actually can't get in because the paths don't line up. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that, so once we open the park, more guests can actually come in. So let's try to even this out a tiny bit. Hopefully we won't screw everything up. It's very possible that we might though. Okay, that connected. Okay, everything is now connected up, so that is good enough. I think it's a bit more flat and it's all connected now, so that's a good thing. The next big thing we want to do is we need to give this ride a name, and I'm also going to change the colors on it. Now, I got lots of comments on name ideas and suggestions for this ride. One thing that I got continuously from people, lots of people said that the fact that the entrance is inside a building is like unrealistic when it's not. Like, have you guys ever been to a theme park before? About 90% of roller coasters, if not more, start inside a building of some sort. Not all of them are as closed off as this, but so many just start underneath some sort of roof or building. A majority of the time, you can't see the station from outside. But we're actually going to change the colors because lots of you guys brought up a good point and said black and orange is too Halloween-y, and we should... weenie. I'm so immature. And the scary Halloween theme is going to be back here, so we want to save the Halloween colors for the Halloween area. So I'm going to find a different color combination. I was thinking, oh gosh, which one is it again? I always forget. I think it's right here. Yes. Okay, I was thinking maybe change the black to like a light blue or dark blue. That would actually look pretty cool. Okay, I think I like this color combination, unless gray. No, I like this. We're going to have black supports with a blue and gray track. I think that looks pretty good. And a name for this ride. My favorite suggestion I got, and I got lots of great suggestions. Lots of you guys suggested that I name all of my coasters after snakes. And that's a pretty good idea, but at the same time, I don't think I want to actually do that for the whole entire park. So the name I actually liked the most. Lots of you guys pointed out this building looks sort of like a prison, and to a certain extent, it sort of does. So we're going to kind of go along with that. And we're going to name this coaster Escape from Alcatraz. Now, Alcatraz is that prison that's surrounded by water that Al Capone stayed at. It's off of like the shore of California, maybe? Hawaii? Something on the west coast. I'm not exactly sure. But I think it's a cool name just because Alcatraz sounds pretty awesome. So we're going to give it that name. And this is the new color scheme. Now I'm going to do a little bit of decorating. First off, I want to make the land not so flat because you guys know how I hate flat land. Doesn't really make much sense because in real life land is never really flat unless you're... I'm not even sure where flat land would happen. Like, not deserts. I guess like in the plains. I mean, I live sort of where the plains are. I live in the Ozark Mountains actually. I guess like in Illinois or stuff like that is pretty flat. Lots of crops everywhere. Corn as far as the eye can see. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of raise the ground up a tiny bit everywhere. It's making the game lag out a tiny bit, moving so much ground at once, but it's okay. It'll be fine afterwards. But yeah, giving some like movement to the ground actually helps out a lot. It makes it seem a lot more realistic already. And it also makes the supports not have to be so long every single location where they're at. So that's always good. Okay, now we're just going to smooth it out a tiny bit so it doesn't seem as abnormal, I guess. And that's looking a tiny bit better. Already, this coaster is starting to shape up a bit more. Next, we're going to do our thing with the trees, just to give it some nature and some wildlife. And while I do that, I want to discuss something that lots of people have been telling me about in the comments. Not a lot of people, I've gotten just a few comments about this, but lots of comments. Why do I keep saying lots? Not lots, just a few. A few people have commented asking me to use like custom scenery, download custom scenery for this park to make it look even better, because you can get like better looking supports, tons and tons of different options for scenery. And I did actually think about doing that before I started the series, but ultimately I decided against it just because I wanted to play this game just like anybody could play it without having to add anything to kind of make my experience a bit not unfair, but I wanted this Let's Play to be as much like the actual game as I possibly could. And so because of that, I decided to just play it normally. Now maybe if I build a second park after this, if you guys like it enough, I could do some custom scenery to make it look even better. But for now, I think I'm going to just stick with the default options for now and not change anything out of the ordinary. Okay, so adding some trees definitely, like, it's so much just makes this thing look a lot better. Because I don't know, it feels like it fits in now, and it's not just sitting randomly out in the middle of nowhere. It actually seems like it belongs here. Now I want to go ahead and build another little tiny pond, just because I think ponds look fantastic, just because I love the way the reflections work with the coasters. Jeez, all this movement is making my game lag, but it's okay. It's completely okay. But no, it's beautiful because of the reflections. Like, you can see the coaster reflecting off of the water, and it's just gorgeous. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So now we have all these like trees. Let's go ahead and put a few more trees around it now, just to kind of make it come alive. Wow, looking good. Now we have some pretty fantastic looking reflections. It just looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful, and you guys will think it looks beautiful too. And I think that makes the coaster look twice as good as it already did. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Next, let's go ahead and decorate this swinging chair right over here. We're gonna add some bushes and trees and flowers just to bring it all together. A big piece of advice from me is to use small hedges a lot. Like, they make things look so much better. It just makes everything feel like it fits. I'm saying that word a lot, but it's very true. It just literally makes it seem more realistic, because in real life, with decorations and such, they use hedges for a lot of things. You would be surprised to just make everything feel like it flows together. For trees, I don't want to use any big, tall sugar pines. I think I want to use some medium, maybe some small trees. How about some small ash trees? I kind of like these trees. Oh, that one's way too big. I want the smaller one. Dang, they're right there. Perfect. Yeah, that's okay. That's too big. There we go. That's a better size. And maybe some of these things. I'm gonna put some flowers up here just to kind of tidy it up. Maybe put some right here on the sides just to make it look really nice. Go ahead and put a tree like this one on the other side as well. What did we use? Small ash? Yeah, that one. I want them to kind of be the same size. There we go. When did I delete that piece of path? When the freak did that happen? I don't even know. Okay, I'm gonna put some like bushes right back here. Maybe a couple rocks, just so everything just looks nice and pretty. A couple bushes over there, and some rocks. I love rock and roll. Put another dime in that jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Sing with me. That looks so much better now. Oh, so much better. I want to change the color of the path just so it's not so black and boring. Purple. No, I'm going to give it like a nice cheery color. How about red and white? That might look good. Red and white. There we go. Kind of matches the top section right here. And that looks much better, as they would say on the Amanda Show. We also need some fences around here, so let's add some of those real fast. Ew, green. Gross. We want some white fences because they look much better. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll add some right here as well, just to kind of block it all off so people aren't like wandering around back here. And that looks great. That looks really good. I'm glad we got that done. Now, I'm going to go ahead and build something right here. So commence fast forwarding. Okay, so now we added some more decoration to this side of the building, and I'm super happy that we did because originally it looked just super duper flat, but now since we added some things to the side, it doesn't look nearly as flat and boring. One other thing that I noticed that bothers me though is there's no space for one of these supports to come down to the ground, so it looks like this part of the coaster is floating. So I'm going to try to fix that real fast. That shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, I think that looks a tiny bit better now that the coaster isn't floating magically in the air like a leprechaun. Leprechauns float. It's a true fact. I've read it in National Geographic. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, I think we're about, oh wait, nope, we can't open the park until, I guess the park is open, but we can't unpause it and everything until we connect Escape from Alcatraz to the rest of the park. Actually, Escape from Alcatraz sounds like too long of a name. I think I'm just gonna call the coaster Alcatraz. That sounds 10 times more badass. Don't argue with me. I know it's right. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the minimum waiting time, and we're gonna raise this a tiny bit so these carts, when they start going off, they won't be like 5 feet away from each other. They'll be like equally spaced, and it'll look much better. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's make it go around the track 17 times. I'm just kidding. That would be ridiculous. Alright, so now let's connect everything up. I'm not sure if I want this path to be completely just like straight because that would look kind of weird. So I'm going to kind of have it like curve up like this a tiny bit, and then we'll have it like come over here so it doesn't look as weird. Then we'll have like a ride right here. We'll have a few rides. We'll have a lot of space to fill up right here. Lots of you guys said that this coaster takes up way too much space, and yes, it somewhat does, but at the same time, this coaster right here is the coaster that I plan to take up the most space out of any other coaster in the park, because it's one of those coasters where it just goes up, down, and just goes super high. The other coasters I'll build will be more so compact and not be more so this style, but for this specific coaster, I wanted it to take up this much space, just because I want it to be realistic like other coasters like this. I know what I'm doing, guys. I've been to so many theme parks that I kind of know the gist of theme parks. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this up. Probably want a path to go all the way down here. Now, I love having the double paths just because like the single paths don't look as good just because they're so skinny and stuff. When you have like the double paths, guests can actually like pass each other. Now for like exits and all those types of things, I have the single paths. But for like the main paths, like these are the highways. This right here is like the freeway, that's why it's like 3 thick long. Then we have the highways, and then we'll have the side roads, which are the single paths. So that's how that's going to be working. Okay, so I'm gonna have this kind of go up here, and I need to build some sort of thing right here to make the line a bit longer. Alright, so I finished the cues for this. I added more trees, some more decoration just to finish it all up. I'm not sure I'm going to put in this space yet. What I might do is I might make a little small building with some food and stuff, maybe some bathrooms, just a tiny little thing. We'll have some stalls, either that or I might have a small ride. If I can find a ride that's small enough to fit in there, that's what I'll do, but until then, I'm not entirely sure. Now there's one more thing I want to do before I open up all the rides in the park and unpause the game. So I want to build at least one more like thrill ride. So we're going to go ahead and build a thrill ride, which is right here. Which one do I want to build? Let's go ahead and take a look at all of them. What is this one? This one looks kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to use this one, but I want to see what it is. Oh, it's like a gigantic loop of a coaster. Okay, well, I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to get rid of it. Delete. First off, I want to level the ground real fast. Okay, let's go back to the thrill rides, and I think the ride I'm going to build is I really like this ride right here. In Six Flags St. Louis, which is the closest Six Flags to me, I'm pretty sure they have one of these. It's called the Excalibur, and they are so much fun. So I think I want to build one here just because I think the guests would love it. So what happens is you sit in one of these seats. I'll just go ahead and put it in test mode for you guys to see. You sit in one of the seats, and then it starts spinning really, really fast. And this ride kind of gives me a headache when I ride it in real life, just because of how much it spins. But it's still so much fun that I still have to ride it. So I'll go ahead and speed up a tiny bit. Spins, and then it starts to go like a swinging ship, and it goes all the way around. Pause it real fast because I don't want too much time to go past, and I'm going to go ahead and level up everything now because I had to put the ground level. That way it wouldn't be on like a raised platform, but now that the ride's here, we can go ahead and fix everything to look perfect. Perfect, darling, perfect. So yeah, that looks good. I'm going to keep it as concrete because that's kind of the theme we have right now. Another thing to keep in mind is whenever you put the exit path on, that's what the ground looks like. So say you want something like cool instead of just concrete, you can do that. But I think right now I'm just going to keep it concrete because everything else is concrete in this area, and it just kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and build the line. Kind of with the line to sort of go over the lake a tiny bit. Yeah, totally. That looks really nice. Oh crap, there we go. Okay, got some decorations done. Now let's go ahead and change the colors of this ride, and then we will open up this park. I don't like the purple and green right here, it just doesn't look that great. So let's go with like a white maybe, green and white. That actually looks good. Okay, I'm going with those colors, and now let's go ahead and have our grand opening of our theme park. Let's go ahead and press play, and we're going to open up everything. So, open. Did I open up this ride? Open. What else is there? There's the garter snake, and we're going to open. Our trampolines, open. And I think the last, oh, there's two more. We got our swinging chairs, open. Yay. And let's get inside here. Clicking our merry-go-round, merry-go-round, merry-go-round. There it is. Open. Yes. So we now have a running, living, breathing theme park. And watch as the guests flood in because we fixed the ground. So we'll have a lot of new guests. That's pretty awesome. Oh no, we need to hire some mechanics. That is very important. Let's go ahead and do that. To hire mechanics, we have to go to park management, staff. We'll need some janitors. Their job is to clean the park. Let's go ahead and hire quite a few of these. And then we'll hire some safety inspectors, or what are these, mechanics, and they'll fix the broken down rides. And let's go ahead and get some security people. Wait, what is this? Yeah, security people, and they'll protect like our benches and stuff from being broken. Then entertainer, we can get one of these, a bear to walk around, and animal keepers. We don't want one of those quite yet because we don't have any animals. Look at that breakdancing panda. Wow, you do you, girl. You do you. Okay, so to reward you guys for watching through this whole entire episode, I'm going to ride the Alcatraz now that it has all of its scenery and everything. Where's the other cart at? Actually, I'm going to wait for one of the carts to get back in the station. Alright, here we goes. We can also look around as we ride, which is pretty awesome as well. There's the rest of the park in the distance. Let's go inside. Ooh. This part is really cool. I'm really happy with the scenery. Some people don't like the building, but I, in fact, love the building. I think it looks really freaking cool. I have a nice view of our park from over here. You can look at the garter snake, all the big buildings. Except we're going to be taller than all of those buildings. We already are, and we're only halfway up to the top. This is so cool. Okay, let's get ready for this gigantic drop. Ah! Oh my gosh, I can't even breathe. All right, let's go back towards the crazy stuff. This part looks really cool. Right over the top of the building. That's so badass. How could you not like that? So much speed right now. Oh, I saw the new ride. I think it's pretty awesome with all the new scenery. It looks really nice. And that is the Alcatraz. Thank you for whoever gave me that name. It's a pretty great name. For this episode, we're going to name this new ride over here. So give me some good name ideas for this ride in the comments, and I will choose my favorite one next episode. Also, I'm going to go ahead and name the swinging chairs myself. Let me think of a good name. Let's call it, how about the Forest Flyers? Because there's trees, and you're kind of flying, because you're in swinging chairs. Perfect! I love it! Wow, oh gosh, look at all these guests up here. People are loving these trampolines. I didn't name these either. Let's call this Bouncing Estate. Sure, there's a big building right here that looks like an estate, and there's trampolines where you bounce, so that works. Also, I'm gonna change the color on this too, from purple to white. I kind of like the white instead, and that looks much better. Look at all the guests in line for the garter snake. That is fantastic. People are lining up for this. Girl. Look at all those people. Anybody coming over to Alcatraz? People are. It'll take them some time to get over to this section of the park, but they're slowly getting over here. They have to get through all the beginning stuff first. Takes time. Lots of time. Another good reason to have this monorail is to get people to the other sides of the park without them having to walk all the way over there. Or else, without like a ride like this, the other parts of the park will be underpopulated compared to the beginning section. So that's why we have that kind of ride, which is good. Okay, people are now getting in line for the Alcatraz. I wonder what people's thoughts on the rides are. Let's see. The garter snake, people's thoughts. Let's roll. I enjoy the garter snake. Here goes. It's a great value. How much is it? Pretty sure all the rides are free. Oh, no, they're actual prices. That's fine though. People can still feel like it's a real park by having some real prices. Here goes. Great value. They enjoy it. People love it. That is fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy with this park so far. Alright, so thank you all so much for watching this episode of Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up because it helps me out quite a bit. And I will see all of your lovely faces next episode. See ya!